popular Grishaverse novels by Leigh Bardugo brought us the Shadow and Bone series to the small screens on the Netflix streaming platform. The first season of the show was epic, and here are some theories about the second season which might become a reality, storylines this series to explore, and make our journey watching the series that much more exciting. Reveal the Crows' backstories. All of the Crows have intricate histories which eventually brought them to Ketterdam and KAZ'S Brekker's crew, with only Nina's and MATTHIAS' stories just starting to be explored deeper. However, little is known about the backstories of KAZ, Jesper, and INEJ'S. While the show will not be able to delve into the full backgrounds of the characters as it focuses on Ravka and Alina, we still need at least a portion of their individual histories to understand their characters better. Their backstories address some of the most frequently asked questions about the first season of the show, particularly why KAZ is afraid of physical contact, INEJ'S family and how she became indentured at the menagerie, and where Jesper gets his sharpshooting abilities. So, we are certain that the second season will focus on this part of the series, in a form of a flashback sequence maybe, showing the younger selves of the characters and their further development, eventually getting to where they are now. Explore MATTHIAS in HELLGATE. At the end of the first season, we saw MATTHIAS and Nina on board a ship heading to Ketterdam, with MATTHIAS accused of being a slaver and sentenced to wait for his trial at Kerch's infamous HELLGATE prison. The beginning of 6 of Crows sees Nina, INEJ'S, Jesper, and KAZ breaking MATTHIAS out of HELLGATE prison. But before they do, a glimpse can be seen of how his life was like during the 1 year he spent there when he took part in a deadly cage fight. MATTHIAS heading to prison at the start of the second season of the show could open more gates, giving the show a chance to further explore his story arc there, as well as Nina's efforts of releasing him from HELLGATE. This will also give the two characters more screen time, thus exploring the romance between Nina and MATTHIAS, which has to be one of the best in the entire series. INEJ'S Knives. In both the books and the series, INEJ is shown as an incredibly religious person, paying homage to Suli proverbs, the saints, and the worship of Sancta Alina. However, one detail is yet to make an appearance in the live action: the fact that each of her knives is named after one of her favorite saints, sort of like a tradition that started when KAZ gave her her first knife after she joined his gang. And when she is nervous, she is constantly reciting the names of her knives, keeping her mind clear. In the books, INEJ never got to meet the Sun Saint, but considering Alina Starkov herself gave INEJ a knife at the end of the first season, a great way to introduce this tradition of hers is for us to see INEJ naming her first knife after Alina. KAZ'S time with the DREGS. Though the Crows did not spend a long time at Ketterdam in the first season of the series, when compared to the first and the majority of the second book, the Crows are not the only trick KAZ Brekker has up his sleeve when he's on his turf. KAZ has an entire gang of criminals and thugs known as the DREGS. While Per Haskell, a character not introduced in the series as of yet, is the so-called leader of the gang, it is still KAZ who calls the shots. The second season could pay more attention to him and his gang, and for all of us to see him with the DREGS at his disposal once he's back home at Ketterdam in the second season, which is already known to happen.
I know you kidnapped my son, Summoner. And now you're going to tell me where you've stashed her.
Why KAZ hates PEKKA ROLLINS. While we're at KAZ, the first season introduced the conflict between KAZ Brekker and PEKKA ROLLINS. However, until KAZ's backstory is revealed, we are all in the blue as to why exactly does he hate PEKKA that much. The second season might dig deeper into the rivalry of these two gang leaders, painting a bigger picture for all of us while we watch the second season of the show. KAZ blames PEKKA for ruining his life and would like nothing more to tear PEKKA's criminal enterprise down brick by brick, a plot the second season might introduce us to. In the process, building an elaborate plan for a revenge plot. On the other hand, PEKKA does not even remember meeting young KAZ, which makes up for an interesting struggle between the two, which has only just begun. KAZ and Nina's complex dynamic. Nina has not yet been formally introduced to the Crows, but she and MATTHIAS will soon take part in the criminal enterprises of Ketterdam's most notorious crew. She joins KAZ'S gang for protection, as one does in Ketterdam. She becomes his informant, using her special abilities, making her one of the most important and most powerful characters in the entire series. KAZ is Nina's boss. She works for him, using her Grisha abilities to soothe at one of Ketterdam's brothels. However, their relationship is very dynamic, as she despises KAZ'S methods and his obsession with greed, but admits that it is his mind that keeps all the Crows alive. Thus, a subplot about their relationship should be mandatory in the second season, a theory we need to know more about, as it involves the entire gang as a whole, not just the two. Establish the JURDA PAREM. The Crows are beginning to face the threat of a deadly Grisha-enhancing drug known as JURDA PAREM, a drug made from JURDA, a plant with orange flowers grown in INEJ'S as the main ingredient. In Ketterdam, all happening while the Sun Summoner is dealing with the Darkling and the Fold in Ravka. The source of the drug is the thing that drives much of the plot in the first Crows book, as they break into the Ice Court, an impenetrable Fjordan stronghold and prison, all to find the creator of the drug, Bo-Yul-Bayor. The drug raises the stakes of Ravka's wars, as their enemies seek to exploit the Grisha, the magic users of this world, infected with it. The one who takes JURDA PAREM quickly becomes addicted and wastes away by overextending their powers under the influence of the drug. The plot might get introduced in the second season, but also can be saved for later iterations, maybe even a third season. Introduce WYLAN. While the plan is being set about the abduction of the Sun Summoner, KAZ mentions that Jesper is asking for a demo man, a detail that can be forgotten quickly, that is, if you haven't already read the books. Because there, the crew's munition expert is WYLAN Van Eck, a rogue son of a wealthy Ketterdam merchant. The second season would be the perfect time to introduce WYLAN, a subplot we could be seeing throughout the second season. Based on the timeline, the Crows haven't met him yet. Thus, KAZ can send Jesper to recruit WYLAN to their gang in the current timeline of the show. A much better way for his character, as opposed to him being only part of a flashback. How the Crows met. By the end of the first season of Shadow and Bone, Jesper, KAZ, and INEJ'S have already been working together for about a year or so. They have established rapport and a semblance of trust for one another, uniting them against any problem they may face. An interesting theory we could see happening in the second season would be for the show to introduce us to the way of how these three individuals came to know each other. The book tells the story of how KAZ met and recruited INEJ'S to be his secret gathering spider, and how Jesper funded his gambling habit with criminal endeavors, but flashbacks to their first encounters would be an extra layer for each character in the series going forward.
Follow.
On a related note, tell us down in the comments below what are your thoughts on the series, and which one of these theories would you like to be true going into the second season of the series? And also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.